Hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual orientation for Contact Center Services NC2 training. Before we could get started, I need you to follow and observe our house rules. First is that you need to find a quiet place. Second, you need to ensure a stable internet connection. And third, you have to stay on mute unless asked to talk. Fourth is that never share your screen unless asked to do so. Only the trainer or the facilitator is allowed to share the screen. At the course of our training on orientation, no one is allowed to speak in the vernacular. We should always follow EOP or English only policy. And then the sixth is that you need to raise your hands through the Zoom app if you have questions or clarification. My name is Ella Bardoquillo. I'll be your trainer for Contact Center Services NC2 qualification. Let me introduce to you what the course is all about. So this course is designed to develop the basic and common knowledge, skills, and attitudes of a contact center services provider in accordance with industry standards. So it covers the basic, common, and core competencies. Specifically, it includes competencies such as to communicate effectively in English for customer service, to demonstrate ability to effectively engage customers and perform customer service delivery process. So what are the units of competencies? We are following 4 basic competencies, which has 4 modules, and we'll have 18 hours to go on with a course with the basic competencies, while for common competencies, you'll have 2 modules with 18 hours, and the third competencies will have 3 modules will follow 108 hours. So total, we need to render 144 hours, but this is in accordance with the face-to-face training. Now that we are following a virtual training, we will just maximize and utilize our tools for 40 hours. We will divide that later. I'll tell you the breakdown on our next sessions. So let me just go through with you the basic competencies. What does it mean? This unit covers the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required to gather, interpret, and convey information in response to workplace requirements. So there are 4 basic competencies as mentioned a while ago in accordance with TESDA. First is to participate in workplace communication. Second is to work in a team environment. Third is to practice career professionalism. And fourth, practice occupational health and safety. Now moving on to the common competencies, this unit covers the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values needed to apply quality standards in the workplace. The unit also includes the application of relevant safety procedures and regulations, organization procedures, and customer requirements. And what are these? We only have 2 common competencies. First is that you have to learn to apply quality standards, and the second would be you should be able to perform computer operations, because that we will be needing. That is the skill you'll be using from your day-to-day task working in a BPO company. Do you have any questions so far? If not, let's move on to the next competencies, which are the core competencies. This unit covers the knowledge and skills needed to communicate effectively in English while conducting customer service delivery process. The first core competency is to communicate effectively in English for customer service, while the second one is to perform customer service delivery process, followed by to demonstrate ability to effectively engage customers. That's why building rapport is very important whenever you speak in English, and it's very essential that you need to be conversational in speaking English, whether you'll be using basic English or conversational English, that will be fine, so long as you're able to convey the message that your customer is relaying to you, and that you're also able to express yourself, your insights about a specific concern. Working in a BPO company is not just like a walk in the park. It requires heart and knowledge at the same time. You have to be in full control of your emotion, and at the same time you have to be not that fluent, but at least you are able to converse without using the vernacular. Otherwise, your caller or your customer will not be able to understand you. Once we've got this mishap or this gap in communication, the one you're speaking to or the customer you're talking with will not be able to understand. Therefore, it will not be good for you and the customer. The call itself will be ruined, knowing later on, I'll tell you that every conversation is very important, not just because it is being recorded, but knowing the fact that each calls are being evaluated and graded. All good? Now, moving on to the third competencies or third core competencies, you need to demonstrate ability to effectively engage customers. You cannot just say yes or no to the question that your customer will be asking. You also have to explain and expound everything. Even though it's just a simple inquiry about the bill, you also have to indicate which figures are explaining each breakdown or each unit. That's why it's very important that you are able to at least express yourself in English, at least for you to be able to have a connection with your customer, with the person you are talking with, and we call it rapport. Whenever you start up a call, you immediately respond with a happy greeting, and you have to be sound like friendly or smiling. So whenever you interpret or whenever you accept an inbound call, or whether it's inbound or outbound call, you have to start with a smile and greet, "Thank you for calling customer service. My name is Ella." So that in that way, whenever someone is talking with you, though he's not able to see you, at least from the tone of your voice, you'll sound engaging. You'll not sound boring. And it's very important because the person you're speaking to is offshore. She does not have an idea, he or she does not have an idea how does your face look like. The emotions that he will be guessing or he will be interpreting will be based on your tone of voice. And if you sound like loud, the customer you're speaking to will think that you are becoming rude. And if you sound so soft, your customer will think that you are a weak person. Therefore, no one would like to talk with you in that way. So in our core competencies, once we get to touch this topic, I'll make sure to let you understand how are you able to engage with your customers. We'll get to that later. Okay, working for a BPO company, there are a lot of tools that are needed, but same way with our course, you need to understand how you could get access to our courses, knowing that we are not going to have a face-to-face interaction, only pure online learning. So before I could go further, I need to show you what does e-learning means. Let me just share the other screen. Okay, I'm gonna show to you the video that explains what is e-learning. Okay. It's just loading.
What is e-learning? E-learning stands for electronic learning. It allows users to take courses online using electronic devices such as a computer, tablet, and even a smartphone. With e-learning, users can take courses from all around the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. E-learning is a proven and effective way to educate your students while tracking their participation and assessment, all at a small fraction of the cost of traditional training. Using e-learning in your business, you can remove travel costs for your students as well as accommodations, training material, and teacher salary costs. E-learning courses are easy to maintain and update. With the power of e-learning, you allow your users to learn at their own pace and present them with engaging learning through the use of audio, video, interactive games, simulations. E-Learning Media Inc. is an industry leader in e-learning development, and we are here to answer your questions and help you develop your first e-learning course. Learn how we do it at e-learningmedia.com. E-Learning Media Inc. be brilliant.
There you go. So you've got to have a taste of what is e-learning all about. Now we will go back with the orientation proper. So in our course, we will be using a learning management system or LMS, and we'll be using Moodle or Google Apps or Google Tools. So for the time being, we're going to use the free we will utilize the free version of Moodle. So this is the link that you have to follow, this is the URL that you will use whenever we will be having online sessions. So what are the technologies that we will be using? First, you get to understand that there are online activities and it has to be synchronous or asynchronous. So these are the following examples for synchronous: training, induction, program, and webinar, while asynchronous are self-paced learning, discussion forums, quizzes, and task sheets. I'll explain to you the difference between the two. How about the learning materials? They will also be provided and uploaded in our learning in the LMS or in Moodle. Okay, of course, but because we are studying online for every kind of learning, or every after each lessons, we will need to evaluate or measure what have you learned so far. So we will be using assessment methods definitely. And what are these? So here, the following assessment methods shall be used in assessing the competency of the participants. So this pertains to you. How am I going to be able to measure if you are following the topics, or you'll need more attention, or if you need to go back, or you need to work on more time, you'll be needing more time to work on a specific topic. I'll be able to see that or monitor that. So we have computer-based tests. From the word itself, this is composed of multiple choice tests given online. It's like a survey form. If you have encountered this whenever you applied for an application online, if you're wanting to, like if you see a job post on Facebook or in social media, and then you'll be led to a specific URL, and then you'll be landed to a page where ask for your personal information, and it has like buttons on it, and it has like blanks that you have to fill out your personal information. Following will be online assessment. So these are computer-based tests, meaning the questionnaires are also uploaded in the LMS, and then you'll be able to see how many correct and incorrect answers you've got. So the computer-based test shall only be open to a particular participant scheduled for assessment during a designated time. If the participant failed to take the test during the designated time, he or she should notify the facilitator for another schedule of tests. A trainee should be able to get at least 80% of the correct answers to pass the test. Usually, you'll be given at least 30 minutes maximum to finish a test. It's ideal that tests are composed of multiple choice to make it easier for you to answer. And also, on my end as the facilitator or as the trainer, it'll be easier to measure the the incorrect answers. What else? Portfolio assessments. Apart from the online test, you'll also be asked to compile materials that you are utilizing during the course of the training. So this refers to the completion of all the performance criteria checklists as requirements that will be submitted online. Submission shall be done as the participant progresses in his/her learning activities per learning outcome. You don't need to worry about it. You'll be guided through from time to time. Whenever we start each lesson, I'll also walk you through on how you could access or even how you can upload your portfolio. It's just as easy as posting your photos in Facebook. Questions so far? Yep, so probably by now you're asking, how about your outputs? No need to worry, because interactive learning materials with self-checks or quizzes shall be used in the training. And again, these are all e-learning materials will be provided to you. It has to follow these parts. It has to have an objectives or learning objectives, learning content, interactive learning activities, self-checks or quizzes with auto feedback, task sheets with performance criteria checklist. And what are task sheets, performance criteria checklist, output templates are downloadable from the e-learning materials so that the task sheets may be done offline. Everything will be explained to you as we go along. How about computer-based exam? This is a self-scoring computer-based self-checks and quizzes serve as to practice exercises for at least for the participants. They are made available per learning outcome. It's just basically the same with, excuse me, with the way you learn in the classroom. But this time, the good thing about it is that you have your own time, meaning you are learning on your self-pace, on your own pace. You are also get to interact with some of your classmates or to other participants, but the thing is you have the liberty to utilize all the resources online. What are submission beans? So submission beans where participants shall upload your outputs for trainer's evaluation, meaning you have to upload your outputs, and then there's a specific URL or link that everyone will be using for the convenience of everyone, so that we'll be able to easily track and monitor the progress of each student or participants. So a notification email is sent by the LMS both to the participant and the online mentor in case of submission to these interfaces, meaning as soon as you upload your answers or any files that you upload, I'll be getting an email and you'll be receiving an email as well, like a confirmation from you and a notification from the trainer that, hey, this participant has already uploaded this specific file. Moving on, what is discussion forum? This is also a type of, or a format or a form of communication where participants can communicate with other participants, because this component of LMS is not a live discussion where it's not a live discussion area, but all enrolled participants will be able to see all posts and replies. This component will encourage discussion of the topics being learned, comparing with your social media accounts to make it easier to understand, for better understanding. Whenever you post a shout out or a discussion, right? And then some people will comment on that. It works this way, it works like this. However, the difference is that on your Facebook account or on your social media account, you are the only one who can like delete or remove or not allow participants. But for discussion forum, like everyone who is enrolled in this course will have the excuse me, will have the access to log on, to comment, and to make a literal discussion of the topic. And of course, it's being graded. Okay, excuse me. Now we'll move on to the to video conferencing. This is also this will also be done like using Google Meet, or like what we are using right now through Zoom. So Google Meets and Zoom will be recorded for participants who fail to participate in the discussion. Say, for example, you are not able to attend a session, you won't be able to, you don't have to worry, because you can still catch up with what have been discussed by just reviewing the recorded session. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm recording it so that you can always go back if you miss something. Like if you wanted to know a specific topic, then you can just go back to it. What else? Do you have any questions so far? So how about the grading system? So grading and monitoring system, we have a built-in LMS monitoring system such as logs, reports, activity reports, grade book, and mind you, we I'm being your trainer or whoever will be the part of the technical team will have a record. We'll be able to check and to monitor your progress. Like we'll see when did you last log into your system, when was the last time, or how long you've have access the lesson. So grading and monitoring system also, these are the monitoring tools that shall be used in monitoring your progress. So activity completion, participation report, and course completion report. So how about the cost, how about your support system? It's very important. It's very crucial for a student or for a learner to have a support system. Why is that? Because in case you're having problems or struggling with a specific topic, you always need to ask someone who knows about it. How are we going to do that? We have different options, of course, available for you. Online mentors shall be online to respond to participants' queries from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays through the following mechanism. We can always use an instant messaging group, so we will create a group later for Messenger. I believe it's going to be easier because whether you don't have a load credit, you can also access free data in your Messenger. It's just that you'll not be able to see or to view the photos and videos or even other data that have other media that's requiring data. But in terms of communication or text messages, I mean the text characters, it's a real time. But I'm also requesting from you to please bear with me. I'm always willing to assist you, but let us follow this specific time frame. I also have my personal life and I respect your personal life as well. So let us just work on around this time frame from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays. Okay? Don't get offended if I don't reply to your messages right away, probably because I'm doing something or I might be engaged in an errand. So apart from instant messaging, we also have forum. So it can be accessed through the LMS, the learning management system that we are using. The discussion forum is what I mentioned a while ago. So as mentioned, we will have a technical support and we will provide the following, because this is just the orientation on the first day of our actual before we could get started with our first lesson. We will teach you how to utilize the LMS. Of course, um, you need to be fully aware. You need to be fully like well versed on how to use the LMS. You need to know how to enroll, how to log in, how to send a message, and how you utilize the technical support groups using Facebook Messenger. I'm telling you, these are very easy tools. So long as you're aware or familiar on how to use Messenger, it's going to be easier for you. Do you have questions so far? So if you don't have any questions, I'd like to thank you for attending today's orientation. See you, and please see you again on our next session. I will send you an email for the next instructions, like what are the requirements that you'll be needing to submit to me. And I'll also be sending you files specifically for task sheet or other unnecessary information or essential information that we'll be needing from you. Thank you.